Welcome to the best sports podcast on the planet. This is Triple Shot Sports. I am your host, Brandon Combs. We've got a great show lined up for you guys, all psyched up for Thursday night football. My Bears take on the Buccaneers. Not so sure it's going to be a great outcome for me, but hey, I'm excited. I've always liked our chances when we're playing at home, especially with that defense. So we'll get into all that. We'll get into some Thursday night football. We'll talk with Professor Leonard if he makes it. If not, I do have our picks lined up. He did say he may not make it tonight. So we'll see if he can join us tonight. If not, I do have the picks for you guys. I also have his crazy pick of the week and his game of the week on hand as well. And before we get to our co-hosts, Jay and Hoffy, I'd also like to remind you guys where you guys can find us. So you can find us on the Triple Shot Sports Podcast channel on YouTube. That's Triple Shot Sports Podcast on YouTube. You can also find us on the Facebook pages for All Access Sports Network and for Triple Shot Sports on Facebook, allaccesssportsnetwork.com. And if you want to yell at us, you can always get in on the comments and yell at us, or you can hit us up on Twitter and Instagram at 3Shot Sports. That's the number 3 Shot Sports. All right, without further ado, let's bring the boys on. What's going on, Jay? How's it going, buddy?
What's cracking, Combs? How you doing today, buddy?
Oh man, it's been a day. I'll tell you that much, man. Long day with work, but I'm ready. Long day watching freaking Astros get into the freaking ALCS. I'll tell you that much. Oh man, it's freaking horrible. But hey, look, I'm just excited. I'm ready to go see Tom Brady hopefully lay an egg tonight to the Bears defense. That's what I'm hoping for.
I don't know about that there, Combs. I don't think that egg will be getting laid tonight.
Hey, I've got Tom Brady in my fantasy team just in case it.
Oh yeah.
All right, and we also have Hoffy. Hoffy, what's going on?
Triple Shot Nation, what's up? Let's go Bucks.
Yeah. All right, so guys, we got a great show lined up for you guys. We got Thursday night football, like we talked about. We've also got our picks with Professor. Does not look like Professor is going to be joining us tonight, so we're going to have to go through without him. He said he had a long day at work and wasn't sure if he was going to be able to make the ride. So we talked a little bit before the show, and I went out and we got our picks. And as always, we always start the show off with our Shop Talk segment. So, guys, this is your turn to chime in. Let us know what you guys want to talk about, what you want to hear. You got anything you want to hear from us? You want to talk about fantasy teams? You want to talk about picks? You want to talk about anything you want to talk about? Throw it our way, and we will get to it for sure. Jared Perry wants to know if the Soup quit. No, Soup did not quit. Soup Boss has just had a job thing come up, so he's had to take control of that, and it's going to take him away for a couple of months, possibly even out of the 50 states possibly. So he's taking care of that. So we've got Hoffy and Jay. Looks like we're losing Hoffy here. But yeah, we've got a lot of stuff coming in. So Jared, keep those comments coming, man. I know you're always in here chiming in, getting us laughing and getting us going. So Professor did say that this is the worst week for spreads, and it is. It's an absolutely horrible week. I mean, when I went through all the spreads with him, it was insane. I mean, you have all sorts of shenanigans going on in Vegas. I'm not sure if they took a beating last week and are just trying to make their money back or what, Jay. But I mean, you've got some insane spreads this week. So you got you got the Chiefs are favored by 13 against the Raiders. You've got the Bengals are a plus 12.5 against the Ravens. You've got let's see here. I think we only had I'm looking at now. Two games this week are under 7 points for the spread.
That's crazy.
That's insane.
That is nuts. And actually to think about it, you think that the Chiefs are going to take a healthy or a mostly healthy Raider team by 13? So basically 2 touchdowns is what they're giving them,
That's a tough one to take against the spread. And I mean, some of the other tough ones here, you had the Vikings plus 7 and the Vikings have the Seahawks. And so, look, I know the Seahawks are really good, but look, that Vikings team can score, and that Seattle defense is not very good. So,
right.
I mean, I don't think that's I almost want to take that. Then you got Washington plus 7.5 against the Rams,
and they bench Haskins too. Did you hear that?
Yeah. So you got Kyle Allen coming in.
Not that he was really doing anything, anyways. But I mean,
right, exactly. So here we go. Then let's go with Professor Leonard and I's picks. The first game Professor Leonard and I went with was Panthers versus the Falcons. Now, this is one of those games that is under 7 points. Jay, the spread here is 2 points. The Falcons are a 2-point favorite on the Panthers. The Panthers, even though they haven't won very many games, have been scoring at a really good clip. I don't know who you would take.
They're 2-2 right now. I mean, I personally, I like Bridgewater. I like where the direction I feel like the Panthers are going. For Atlanta to be a 2-point favorite on them is kind of ridiculous because I think the Panthers are a little bit better than that. Yep. You know how the Falcons are. I mean, they can score, don't get me wrong. And, they get up on you, but they cannot hold the lead to save their life. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's just like, it's honestly like a crapshoot there. But, I think the Panthers, I would go with the Panthers on that one. I mean,
yeah, so that's exactly where I went with it. I went with the Panthers +2. Professor Leonard took the Falcons and -2. I think that the Panthers are one of those teams that's going to have an up and down year. They're going to have their really good games and they're going to have their really bad games. I feel like they're going to have a really good game this week. They may lose this game, but it might be on a last-second field goal when they're up by 2. So I feel good with the Panthers +2, and the Falcons they don't blow anybody out, and their defense can't stop a cold. I like the Panthers +2. The next game we picked was Vikings versus Seahawks. Now, this is a 7-point spread. It was a 7.5-point spread, but the professor talked me down to 7. He said he felt more comfortable here at 7. So he took the Seahawks -7, and I took the Vikings +7. So that's another one I feel good about. Look, the Vikings can score, and the Seattle Seahawks defense is not very good. Vikings might even win this game outright. And so I think Russell Wilson picks apart that secondary in Minnesota, but I feel like this could be one of those 47-46 type games.
I feel like, that DK Metcalf is probably going to have a pretty decent game. I mean, considering the fact that, the Vikings secondary isn't all that it's cracked up to be. And I thought that secondary was going to be a little bit better than, better than they were, but they have not been as good as advertised, And I think I think Seattle will score on them. And, they will score them at will. But, I mean, Minnesota can score some points too. Don't get me wrong there. I mean, they got Cook, they got, Thielen, and, their offensive line is pretty decent. I mean, yeah, it's kind of one of those. I feel like that game and this game is kind of like, could be, what they would call, trap games.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Stuff. Yeah, so that's how I feel about these two games,
Jared chimes in here and says, I just traded David Montgomery for Tyler Boyd. Solid deal, right? Gives me Adams, Ridley, and Boyd now for my team. Look, I like the trade of David Montgomery. I think you got the better player in that deal. I think Tyler Boyd's the better player. I do like David Montgomery. I think David Montgomery is a fantastic running back, but the Bears can't open a hole for him. And they cannot run the ball. So that was absolutely a fantastic trade for you. I don't know who your other running backs are, Jared. But yeah, no, you won that trade for sure. All right. And then Professor and I get back into our final game. And this is one that, I really liked because you have the Washington Redskins +7 versus the Rams -7, and I took the Redskins here. The not Redskins anymore. Sorry. I took the not Redskins anymore +7 against the Rams. This game's in Washington. It's a noon start, so that's 9 a.m. for the Rams. Right. And I really feel like one of two things are going to happen. It's going to be either a close game going into halftime and Kyle Allen is tearing it up, or it's going to be a really close game heading into halftime and the not Redskins anymore are going to be losing like 17-7 or something, and Kyle Allen's going to throw 3 picks, and then Alex Smith is going to come into the game, and he is going to he's everybody's darling pick for comeback player of the year. I don't want to see him in a game because I don't want to see what happens if he gets hit in that leg. But I think that the Skins will win this game outright, and so I really like them +7.
I'm going to have to disagree with you on this, Combs. I think that the Rams are going to score on them. They're going to score on them at will. And I feel like this game is going to be a blowout.
Really?
Yes, sir.
It's not often you get a West Coast team heading to the East Coast for a noon game and having them just run the score up.
I mean, true. But, I mean, like you said, I don't feel like Washington can stop a cold. I mean, their defense is decent, but, I mean, they're going to be on the field a lot.
Right.
A lot, especially with Allen in there. I mean, I haven't seen anything good out of him, honestly.
Right. Yeah.
I don't think he's much of an upgrade from Haskins. Mind you, you just drafted him last year, and you're already benching the guy. You know what Alex Smith can do,
right?
And do you really want to put Alex Smith in there with that backwards leg and have him, running around, and because he's going to get hit, and he's going to get hit a lot,
Yeah.
So
yeah. Look, is Kyle Allen related to Josh Allen? Are they brothers? I gotta look that up.
I don't know, but I would probably go with no because I feel like Kyle Allen. I think if I got in there, I might be able to throw a couple more dimes than him.
Yeah. Yep. Let's see. I'm looking it up right now, actually. Josh Allen is a second-year man who has led the Buffalo Bills 6-2 record, blah, blah, blah. Kyle Allen is Carolina Panthers, been subbing for Cam Newton, blah, blah, blah. They are related.
Really?
Yeah.
Are they brothers?
So it says here. It says they are brothers. Yeah.
Brothers, really?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
I mean, I don't know how accurate this is, but
right. Is it like Wiki or something?
Yeah. So
yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like you said, I don't know how accurate that is, but I mean, I've never heard anything. I've never heard anything about them being brothers either. So
right. Jared says he has Jacobs, Connor, and Mostert. Look, then that was a great trade. David Montgomery for Tyler Boyd was a great trade. I mean, you don't need any more running backs after Jacobs, Connor, and Mostert. I'm assuming you have 2 running backs and a flex. So I mean, you're all set there anyway. Especially since you have Adams, Ridley, and Boyd now too. You're gonna have to sit one of those 6. But hey, right. I like to have those problems on my fantasy team. That's for sure.
Oh yeah. I would love to have those headaches.
Yeah.
Those are the good type headaches that you want, not the ones that you don't. Where you're like, oh, do I have to put a kicker in my flex right now?
Yeah, exactly. Like last week, I took a screenshot of it because it was crazy because. 4 of my guys I had to sit and put on my bench because they were out with the Titans and the Steelers and the COVID stuff that was going on there, and we weren't sure what was going on with the Patriots and the Chiefs until later in the day. So I had to sit a bunch of my guys. So and then the other 3 that I had on my bench were hurt and out for the day. So I had no flexibility there whatsoever.
Right.
And so. All right, so to recap, I have the Panthers +2. Professor Leonard has the Falcons -2. I have the Vikings +7. He has the Seahawks -7. I have Washington +7. He has the Rams -7. I feel really good this week about my picks. So let's see how that goes. Now, Professor Leonard's game of the week. Let's get to his game of the week here real quick.
His crazy game.
No, he's got a crazy pick too. But his game of the week is Colts versus Browns. He says both teams are playing well enough to stay relevant. Yeah, he said both teams are playing well enough to stay relevant, but one defense is going to crumble in front of our eyes. Man, I don't know if either one of these defenses will crumble in front of your eyes. Look, the Colts.
I like how he does that though. He's like, one of these defense will crumble in front of our eyes, but doesn't give the one defense that's going to crumble.
I don't think either defense will crumble. I think that the Colts, I don't think that they're very good on the offensive side of the ball. And I think that the Browns are definitely the better offense, but I think that Colts defense is good enough to slow them down. And they might, make Baker Mayfield turn over the ball 2 or 3 times. I could absolutely see this being like a 17-16 type game.
Yeah, for sure. And then next week he'll come in and he'll go. No, I didn't say what team was going to crumble. No, I'm just messing around, Professor. I'm just messing around.
Yeah. It's kind of true though. That's exactly what he'll do. All right, so let's get to his crazy pick of the week. So, Mr. Leonard's crazy pick of the week. You ready for this? Are you sure you're ready for this?
We need to make a
like a sound for it.
A sound for it, man. We need to make a sound for it. The crazy pick of the week.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna do something for him this week. I'll get it all set up so we'll have it ready for next week for sure.
There we go.
All right, so Mr. Leonard's crazy pick of the week: Bengals over Ravens. He says the Bengals are healthy and only have 18.3% chance of winning. However, Ravens tight end Andrews and quarterback Lamar Jackson are both listed as questionable. Even though both will probably start, watch for Jackson to have a limited running game if he plays, along with forcing the ball that may result in turnovers.
I actually read about Lamar Jackson today, and they said that it was just a precautionary thing more than anything. So, I mean, I don't know how limited that he's going to be.
Yeah.
But I did read today they just kept him out of practice today, and it was mostly a precautionary thing. They're not really all that worried about that injury. So,
yeah. I would take the Bengals with the spread because they're favored. The Ravens are favored by so much.
Right.
I think I had taken. What did I tell Professor Leonard about that one? I had the Bengals because it was plus 12.5. I would take the Bengals plus 12.5 because I think the Bengals are better than advertised for sure.
Yeah, I think that they're much better. They're much better than plus 12.5. I don't think the Ravens are gonna blow them out per se. They will. A touchdown sounds about right. I don't know, maybe 8-9 sounds about right, but
yeah, they're not going to win that game outright though.
Oh no,
there's no way. I don't see it. I don't. Even if Lamar Jackson didn't play, I couldn't. I don't know. I just think Baltimore's deeper. Baltimore's better. The receiving core is better.
I really don't see it. And then not that he's the greatest ever, but they do have a seasoned veteran in RG3. So
right. Yeah, that'll be an interesting one. I'll keep my eye on that one for sure. I'm just not so sold on the fact that the Bengals will win that one outright.
Right.
All right. So let's get into our actual preview of Week 5. We like to do our picks against the spread with Professor Leonard. But then we also like to go ahead and give you each game and who we're picking outright in those games, straight up, not against the spread. So let's go here with let's start with the Thursday night game. We got Tampa Bay, Chicago. They're about to kick off. I'm a Bears fan, so I'll let you go first.
I am going to go with the Bucks, Combs. Sorry, but I just think that team is much more complete. In every aspect of the game, from offense to defense to special teams. The quarterback's obviously much better. Running backs, tight ends. I mean, they did lose OJ Howard.
Yeah, OJ Howard.
So they did lose OJ Howard, but
Evans
I mean,
is playing hurt today on a bad ankle. So is Leonard Fournette.
Did they say if Godwin's playing tonight?
Godwin's out tonight.
Oh, Godwin's out tonight.
Yeah.
But I mean, still tight ends. You still got Gronk. You still got
they're deep at tight end.
Right.
They've got
Brate. Is that his name there?
Yeah, Cameron Brate.
Right.
Yep.
So I mean, and that offensive line is pretty good. I think they're better than advertised. They've been keeping Brady up.
Yeah.
And the thing is if you don't dirty that man's jersey, he's gonna throw all over you. Yeah. You witnessed it last week where he went for over 300 with 5 touchdowns. And people were talking all that smack about his pick 6 and all this other crap. Oh, the last 4 out of the 6 games he's thrown a pick 6, this, that, the other. But at the end of the day, I mean, they're still coming back and winning these games.
So here's what I think about this game. I think that the Bears need to have a good game. I think that Nick Foles needs to come out and cement himself as the guy who can lead this offense and do the things that they're going to do. The Tampa Bay defense is good, but it's not stellar.
Their front seven is pretty damn good.
Yeah, they're all right. I mean, they're a top 15 defense for sure. But look, he needs to do that. I think that Brady struggles a lot with a defense that can get to you, and when you've got the defense that the Bears do, that's something that they can do is they can't get to him. They can't beat this offensive line and get to Brady and hit him in the mouth. But that being said, I'm still going with Tampa Bay here. I just think Tampa Bay, like you said, is the better all-around team. I can't bet against Tom Brady. When I picked my picks at the beginning of the season, this was one of the games I had them losing. So I'm staying there, and I'm going with them as they just kicked off. I'm going with them to go ahead, and the Buccaneers are going to take this one. So let's move to Sunday then. Sunday we've got Panthers and the Falcons at noon. Look, I have the Panthers +2. I think they're going to win this game outright. I think that, again, I think they are a better team than a lot of people will give you credit for. I think they are going to have a up and down season, but I do think that they're better than what they said. And the Falcons are reeling, and they are their wheels are just spinning. And I don't know. I just have a feeling Carolina's going to win this game, and then you're going to see another coaching change in Atlanta.
Atlanta's atrocious. I mean, at this point, I'm surprised that Quinn hasn't been fired already, and I'm surprised that O'Brien was the first one to go. I mean, look at Quinn. This guy cannot keep a lead to save his life. No. They go up, and that's the funny thing about the Falcons too is they can sit there and score with anybody. Yeah, they can sit there and score with anybody, but then something happens in the third quarter in which everything ends up going wrong for them. The first 2 quarters, they're out there, Ryan's throwing the ball around. He's got 3 touchdowns, Ridley's got a touchdown, and then Jones is just beasting everybody all over the field. Yeah. And then the third quarter comes around.
You wouldn't know that they were an 0-4 team if you looked at the stats just by looking at Matt Ryan's got 1,246 pass yards and 7 touchdowns in 4 games. Exactly. I mean, he's not that bad. Gurley's got 4 touchdowns already. But they're 0-4, and they've blown 2 fourth quarter leads where they've led by 15 or more points.
And it's I don't think it's so much the offense that is lacking, because when you look at that roster, when you look at that roster and you look at that roster, you're like, how is this team 0-4?
Yeah,
how is this team 0-4? It's just crazy. Like you just said, look at Matt Ryan's stats. Look at Gurley's stats. Look at Ridley's stats. Look at Jones's stats. And and I forget the name of the tight end over there, but they got a pretty decent tight end as well.
Yeah. So I mean, look what we got here. Hoffy's back. Hoffy, you with us?
He's back. back at it.
Triple Shot Nation.
What's
Tom
going
Brady
on,
needed my
Hoffy?
undivided attention.
Oh no, you're good. You're good. It looks like you got your stuff fixed, so that's good. That's a bonus.
I think so.
Hey,
For
all
now.
right. So we're just going through our picks. We went through the Thursday
I've had
night
it on the
game.
phone. Yep.
Real quick, who do you have? Bucks or Bears?
I got the Bucks and Coombs. You know, I've been talking my crap about my beloved Tom Brady all year, saying he's looked old. I think he's still got some gelling to do with his team and such, but at the same time, he is looking a little 42 years old. But I think he has a big game against your Bears tonight, and
that's
it
a clean
shuts me
sweep
up until next week.
We all picked the Bears. I did say that the Bears, they do need a big game from Nick Foles. They need him to at least compete in this game. And I think that the Bears defense poses a threat to Tom Brady in this offensive line. And, if you start hitting Tom Brady a little bit, maybe you can get inside his head and sneak one out. But I think the Bucs are better all-around team. They're tight ends. They're definitely deeper at the tight end spot than the Bears are. So I picked the Buccaneers as well. Then we moved on to Atlanta and Carolina.
I'm big Nick.
Yeah, exactly. So Atlanta, Carolina, who you have in that matchup, Hoffy?
Carolina. Atlanta's they're in a paper bag as far as I'm concerned. How Dan Quinn wasn't let go after the Super Bowl, never mind.
Right.
I mean, he's on thin ice at this point. I think they can win and still fire him.
Yeah, so we got a clean sweep for the Bucs and a clean sweep for the Panthers so far. Look at us agreeing.
Right.
So then we've got the Buffalo Bills and the Tennessee Titans. This is going to be a good matchup. I think it's going to be a big test for Buffalo. But I ultimately think that Buffalo sneaks this one out. I think that I'm a real big believer in Josh Allen. The guy's already in 4 games has thrown for over 1,300 yards and 12 touchdowns. So, look, I know they got Derrick Henry on the other side of the ball, but that Bills defense is probably the best front 7 in football. And they have a very underrated defense. So
they haven't showed up yet.
Yeah. So I have Buffalo.
They show up this week, though.
I have Buffalo beating Tennessee here in this one. I think this will be a 10-plus point game.
Are they even going to actually end up playing the game? Because I know that
they're moving it to Tuesday.
Moved to Tuesday, so that'll be a good show next week.
Yeah, They moved it to Tuesday.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I'm going to take the Bills as well. Like you said, that defense, that front 7, it's probably the best in football. Their secondary's pretty good too, pretty amazing. That offense behind Josh Allen, I think, is really starting to mesh. They look really good as well. And the fact that Tennessee hasn't played now in a couple weeks is probably going to put a little bit of stress on them. So I think I'm going to go with the Bills here as well.
Hoffy?
So my gut says the Bills because they're going up against the 28th ranked defense in the Titans. However, I don't think I want to see the Bills. They're legit, but I think Henry has a big game, and I believe they squeak it out somehow. I'm gonna go with the Titans on this one in a close one. Yep.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna go with we got 2 for the Bills and 1 for the Titans here. That's our first one that we've had a disagreement on. Hoffy's wrong, but that's all right. All right. And then we've got
he's definitely wrong.
Won't be the first, won't be the last.
We've got Raiders
versus
on
Sunday
Chiefs.
night. Or Tuesday, excuse me.
Tuesday night, yeah. We're gonna have football Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday.
Yeah, man.
And then Thursday, man. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So the Buccaneers were on. Buccaneers were on the opening drive, and it just stalled out on the 25. They're about to kick the field goal, and it is good. So they are up 3-0 here in the first quarter. All right. So next game here, we have Raiders and Chiefs. This is going to be a good one. Raiders and Chiefs is always good, no matter how good one team is or how bad another team is. But this time, the Raiders are actually a formidable opponent. They're playing decent football right now. But that being said, the Chiefs are the Chiefs, and I'm going to pick them every week. I don't care who they're playing. they're going to be my pick every week, even if they lose. They could lose 3 in a row. I'm still going to pick them on that 4th week because they're the Chiefs and they're that damn good. So I'm going Chiefs here. Hoffy?
Yeah, I got the Chiefs.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if they're going to lose for a while.
Yeah, I agree. Jay?
I'm going to go with the Chiefs as well. Too good, too automatic. Mahomes is just out of this world stellar. There's nobody really stopping him this year. They might even go undefeated. Except if they, just throw some sort of egg at some point. But I don't think that they're going to beat them by 2 touchdowns. So, but the outright, I think the Chiefs are definitely going to beat them.
Yeah, I think the Chiefs are going to win. I think it might be a little bit closer than people think. I feel like it is probably a 1-score game, whether it's 3, 6, 7, something like that. It's just
Right.
The Raiders and the Chiefs always end up playing a game like that. So it does not surprise me if it ends up that way. Then we have another game, and this one is I don't even know if I really want to watch it. It's probably not even worth talking about, but it's the Cardinals and the Jets. Look, the Jets are a dumpster fire, and just a complete dumpster fire. But if there's one game that they're going to win this year, it's going to be this one.
Right.
Because the Cardinals are that team.
Too.
Yeah, it's the Cardinals are that team that just seem to always find a way to disappoint. Like I'm not a big, and I've said it before, I'm not a big believer in Kyler Murray. He's just, to me, he's just not a top tier NFL quarterback. 4 games in, still under 1,000 yards passing. He leads the team in rushing attempts and yards. I don't know. I'm not a big believer in Kyler Murray, but that being said, you don't need much to beat the Jets. So I'm taking the Cardinals in this one. And this is going to be like one of them, 10-3 type games.
Right.
Jay, who you got?
Oh, man. This is kind of a rough one. I'm just going to flip a coin in the air and Jets. We'll go with the Jets this week.
Oh boy!
even though I don't really want to go with them, I think that like you said, if this is going to be a game that they're definitely going to, if this is going to be a game that the Jets can win, this is going to be it. I don't really see the Jets winning all too many games, but like you said, this is possibly one of them. So, like I said, it's either the Cardinals or the Jets. It's like, what are we picking here? So, like I said, I'll go with the coin flip, and we'll go with the Jets.
Go Jets just to be different. All right.
Yes, sir.
What you got, Hoffy?
So I think Flacco's going to turn this into a shootout. I think Murray's going to have a game. I'm not sold on him. I think he's your pretty Baker Mayfield, if you want to call him that. He's going to make a couple plays. He looks pretty running down the field and getting his yards, but I don't think he's your franchise quarterback. I think he probably should have stuck to baseball. But we'll see. I do think he pulls out the W this week though against the Jets in a shootout.
All right. So we got 2 for the Cardinals, 1 for the Jets, and then we have Eagles and Steelers. Look, the Steelers are just really, really good, and they are, I think, a top 5 team in the NFL right now. And the Philadelphia Eagles are a disappointment. Carson Wentz has not been very good this year. They keep making mistake after mistake after mistake. Miles Sanders is not – they can't block for him. That poor guy, he's a very good running back, and he's got 236 yards here. He's averaging 50 yards a game, and that's not something that he's capable of way more than that. And so I'm going Steelers here, and I'm going Steelers big. Jay?
I'll have to agree with you, the Eagles, I just don't know what's up with them. Every year, their roster on paper looks like it's going to be good. And for the last couple of years, the roster on paper looks good, but the roster they put on the field looks like trash.
Yeah.
Carson Wentz is not making the leaps that he should by, he's year 4 now, maybe year 5 for Wentz. And it just doesn't seem like he's getting any better. It just looks like he's getting worse. And it's not like the Eagles don't spend the money and put the talent around him, because they do, and I don't know what it is with Wentz, but he's looked awful all season long. So I'm going to have to go with the Steelers, and I do think they win this game big as well.
Okay. Coffee?
I mean, on paper it looks big, and I think it's probably going to be big. But for some reason, my gut feelings tell me that two Pennsylvania teams, it ends up being a hard-fought game. But like Jay said, Carson Wentz, since his MVP season, the Super Bowl season when he broke his leg, I don't know if it's just not getting his confidence back and worrisome, with that leg injury or whatnot. But like Jay said, he hasn't looked the same since that MVP season. Damn good, and that whole team looked damn good that year. And they haven't put it together since, and they haven't really. They've lost some pieces, but like Jay said, they've definitely spent and replaced those pieces. So I don't know how and they're in the NFC East. So how the hell are you not at least 11-5 every season? Never mind a little bit better. I mean,
right.
You could shit your pants and come up with an 11-5 record in that that division.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree. And it's a very down year in this division. And it's completely up for grabs, even though you're 1-2-1. And for me, the Eagles just feel like they are the bottom of the barrel in that division still. I don't know why, even with the Giants being there.
Yeah, I still like Redskins over them.
Yeah,
absolutely. I do as well.
Excuse me, Washington football team. No, I'm gonna get
so
myself
speaking of the Washington not Redskins. Yeah, speaking of the Washington not Redskins anymore, we have the Washington not Redskins versus the Rams. Look, this is a game we talked about with me and Professor's picks. I took Washington +7, and I really like that pick because I think Washington wins this game outright. I usually don't like teams that come from the West Coast to play on the East Coast and play a noon game. That's 9 o'clock out there on the West Coast. Not a time that they're used to playing, a time that they're used to, waking up and driving over to the field, but not used to kicking off. And so I really like Washington in this game. I like Washington to pull off the upset. I like Washington to be ahead in the NFC East after this game. Hoffy?
Yeah, I agree with you. And on a backdrop, I don't believe the Allen brothers are. I don't believe they're related at all. I think that's a wiki crock of crap. I'm pretty sure I've heard that, but I'm still not sold on the Rams. But I think they got this one.
Okay, Jay.
Like I said earlier when we were discussing the picks with you and the professor, I'm going to take the Rams on this one. I just think that offense is a little bit more than Washington can handle. I mean, I know that Washington's strength is their defense, but I just feel like that defense is going to be on the field a lot game.
They're definitely going to have their moments, but yeah, I agree.
So I feel like they're going to be on the field a lot that game. And, with that being said, that defense is just going to get tired out, and they're not going to be able to, take all that, and I just think that, when it comes down to it, the Rams haven't been playing up to their ability, I don't believe, but I do think that, this could be one of those breakout games for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's close for the first 2.5, and then they get too tired, and then from there it's all downhill.
I don't know, man. I think that Carson Wentz is capable of throwing 4 interceptions in this game. I really like that Redskins defense, and so that's why I had to go with them. So I'm, Redskins
Goff's
for me is the pick here.
4.
What?
He'll throw 3. He's not throwing 4. He'll throw 3.
Oh, okay. So 3 instead of 4. That sounds much better. All right. moving on. The
You
next
should
game here.
just stick to surfing.
Next game, we got Bengals Ravens. Another one that we talked about with the spread. The spread is crazy here. But, look, I like the Ravens outright. I like them to beat the Bengals. I think this is going to be a much closer game. I think Cincinnati's a lot better than they've been in past years. Joe Mixon has been absolutely phenomenal this far. Joe Burrow's been absolutely phenomenal. Everything is advertised. Tyler Boyd has been crazy this year. And, look, this is Professor's crazy pick of the week here. He's got the Bengals beating the Ravens. I do like that. I do like the Bengals to make this an interesting one, but ultimately, I like the Ravens here.
I like the Ravens. Oh, sorry.
Go
ahead, Jay.
Go ahead, Jay.
I like the Ravens as well. I don't think that it's going to be a blowout by any means. I think Cincinnati keeps it, relatively close. I'm not saying close as in a touchdown, but maybe 10 points in that area. I don't think that the Ravens go up by 2 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns, anything like that. Still questionable, Lamar Jackson. They were just saying today, though, they just kept him out as precautionary measures. He's still going to play on Sunday. If he doesn't play, I'd be really surprised. So I slot him in there. But I just don't think that, Cincinnati is as bad as people think they are. I think they're actually better than advertised, And yeah. I think Burrow is all he's cracked up to be and more. I think he's going to be a great quarterback in the next couple of years. And I think, if Cincinnati puts some weapons around him, gets a better defense, I think that they actually might be something to deal with in the next couple of years.
Coffee?
I agree. Burrow's been as advertised, and I thought being in the Bengals organization, that would take maybe a year or two before he kind of came into the groove with the coach. I do like the fact that they got a young coach. Yep. Having Burrow and him together, that'll be great. And if I recall, I think Brady, which was his offensive coordinator, is now the offensive coordinator with the Bengals. I believe they took someone from LSU, if I recall. So that's only going to make things better. I definitely take a year or two, but I think this game for sure. I think Harbaugh is a good coach, and I think he puts a game plan together that really shows that Joe Burrows is not quite at that level he's been at the past couple of weeks, and he's got a couple more. He's got a little more to learn.
Yeah, look, I don't know. I really like Joe Burrows, and I really like what Cincinnati's doing. I like the look of their future. I think they're maybe 1 or 2 years away from being competitive in their division. But yeah, I can't pick them in this game against the Ravens. I just think even with Lamar, maybe hamstrung a little bit and having to throw the ball more than normal, but I'm a big believer in his arm too. I think Lamar Jackson has a really good arm. I think he's a very good pocket passer. He's just a very good pocket passer that can run. So I got the Ravens here. Next game, we have got Minshew Mania. Jaguars and Houston Texans. Houston is a 5.5 point favorite. I like the Jaguars to win this one outright. I really do. Look, I think that the Jaguars are an interesting team. That Houston still they're going with a new head coach, which might actually help them more than it hurts them, obviously. But I think it's going to be a few weeks before they can get a system going. And so I like Jacksonville to walk into Houston and take this one. Coffee?
No, not at all. I think Watson has a game and gets himself his first W of the season. And I didn't really look at their schedule today, which I meant to, but I think they have somewhat of a soft schedule the rest of the year. And I think they turn it around, but I don't think they come anywhere close to competitive. But I got them in this game for sure. I'm not a believer of Minshew Mania, and I don't know what's up with the Jags. Since that AFC Championship game,
you don't believe in Minshew Mania. 4 games, and this guy's thrown for 1,200 yards and 8 touchdowns.
I don't care.
And you're not a believer, huh?
I could throw for 1,200 yards if I was on the Jaguars.
Oh, my God. You couldn't throw for 12 yards if you were on any team in the NFL.
That's because my labrum's torn, but still, I'll give it a shot with my left.
Jay?
As much as I don't want to do this because they upset me last week, I'm going to have to go with the Texans as well. I think that, they're going to have a lot better game. Cornell's stepping in as the interim coach, which doesn't throw him off too much, since Cornell's been there for the past couple of years. I think Deshaun Watson has a really good game, and Jacksonville let me down last week too. And I went with Minshew Mania last week. He let me down. Not feeling the stash anymore. Can't do it. I'm going with Houston.
Oh, all right. I'm alone. I'm all alone with the Jaguars. I'm writing this one down because if I'm right on this one, we're talking about it on Sunday.
Oh, come on.
Me and my bold prediction. All right. Speaking of horrible games, like we talked about earlier with the Jets game, you have the Dolphins and the 49ers.
Oh, my God.
This is another snooze fest. There are not very many good games on the schedule this week.
This game personally feels like it should be on tonight, right?
It does. It feels like it should be a Thursday night game. Right. Jimmy G's out. I mean, the entire 49ers are out. Right. As I just watched Nick Foles throw a freaking interception on our side of the damn field. All right. So 49ers, Dolphins. Look, I don't know. 49ers because they're at home. I guess. Sure. I'm going to do the whole Jay thing. I'm going to flip a coin. I'm just going to take the 49ers. I don't even want to talk about this game. Jay, who you got?
Just for shits and gigs, I'll go with the Dolphins.
I like that. That's the stuff you get here on Triple Shot Sports. There's no analysis. There's no professional opinion. There's none. For shits and giggles, I'm taking the Dolphins.
Shits and gigs, man, the Dolphins.
I like it. Hoffy?
Well, in that case, for shits and giggles, seeing as how I work in San Francisco, I'm gonna go with the Dolphins. See if I can get myself in some trouble tomorrow at work.
Right?
I think
why not?
I think Fitzmagic shows up. Fitzmagic.
Hey, look, whatever way this game goes, it is a 3:00 game, so it is a great time for you to get stuffed and full of all the wings and nachos and all the shit you can eat during the early game, just in time to take a freaking nap.
Exactly.
That is what's going to need if you have to suffer through that game. This one's actually going to be a good one. And, last year you might not have thought so with these two names, but Colts and Browns is the next game. Both teams are 3-1. Both teams have played very well defensively. And Cleveland's got a better offense than Indy does. A much better offense than Indy does. But Indy's defense is good enough to slow them down. I'm taking the Browns here. I think the Browns are ready to prove, and they started it last week with the way that they manhandled Dallas. They're ready to prove that they're for real and maybe make a playoff run here. So I'm going with the Browns over the Colts at home.
Hoffy? I love me some Twist Nation, and we know how they are on the Colts. But I want to see them on the show Tuesday. I want to see them drop out of the top 10 in the rankings. So I got the Colts losing this one. I think, like you said, I think Baker Mayfield has a game here.
Yeah, and this line has
Baker and Odell Beckham have a game.
This game has no favorite. Vegas has it as an even pick'em game.
Really?
Yeah, I don't trust Phillip Rivers and his noodle arm.
Yeah, over/under set at 47.
He has the worst throwing motion I've ever seen, and I just don't know how in the hell that ball comes out. Like,
yeah,
it's just the weirdest motion I've ever seen. It's like the worst foul shot ever. Like, I just don't even know. Like, if you put him on the line, he would do like the weirdest foul shot. Like,
Yeah.
I just don't even know how to compare. But I mean, I'm gonna go with the Browns here. I think that that offense is starting to, mesh, gel, so I think that, like Hoffy said, that Odell Beckham's going to have a great game. Where the hell is Jarvis Landry? Like, where
he started to show up last week. Nick Chubb, obviously out for the year, but Kareem Hunt took over last week, and he looked really good.
Oh yeah, and honestly, that's not even
as long as he doesn't beat people up.
Right, and if you get the Kareem Hunt that you got when he was playing for the Chiefs, I mean, that's not even a downgrade, honestly.
It's just not off the field.
Yeah. I mean, I think that and I think that offense is starting to gel. They're starting to mesh. They're putting up a bunch of points. I mean, Cleveland's defense is also decent. I mean, they're not a bunch of scrubs. They're not pushovers. So I definitely think that Cleveland takes this. And I'm surprised they're not even favored by at least 3 points, to tell you the honest truth. And I don't even think the Colts should be in the boys from Twist's top 10. I think they're more on the outside, like an 11 or 12.
I got them. Maybe just outside.
Yeah. So
I would trust the Patriots before I trust the Colts.
Right.
with Newton, of course.
And not even trying to be a homer,
not in the top 10. Exactly.
Not even trying to be a homer or anything like that. I would have the Patriots in the top 10 before the Colts.
Okay.
Coombs, I'd give you Bears an honest chance against the Colts. I know they didn't fare too well last week, but I would go 50-50 if they pick, if it was a best out of 10. I'm just not sold on Rivers. I don't like his arm.
Right.
Yeah. I'm not a big Rivers guy either. I thought he was horrible in San Diego, and he had way more weapons in San Diego than he does in Indianapolis. So I just don't, I don't know. I don't see it. So
he does
I don't think Brissett is a solid QB, but I think him in the option and would be better than Rivers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially for the money you're spending on Rivers, he's certainly not worth that.
Seriously, you could have took that money and spread it out anywhere else besides giving it to Rivers. And Brissett, I mean, like you said, Brissett's not, a Pro Bowler or even a top 10, top 15 quarterback by any means, but he gives you that RPO option at least, So I mean, what you're getting with Rivers. He's just dropping back and even it.
Yeah. So then we get an NFC East showdown.
Showdown.
We get the Cowboys at 1-3 at home against the New York Football Giants.
Oh.
Look,
America's team.
I would love
the Patriots.
Love nothing more than to see the Giants beat the Cowboys this weekend. Nothing would please me more than to see that happen.
Oh man, I would love it. I would love it.
It's not going to happen.
No Barkley.
It's not.
The Cowboys are going to win this game. They're going to pull to 2-3. They're going to be tied with the Washington, not Redskins anymore, at the top of the NFC East after this one is over. So I'm going Cowboys here, and it's probably not really even a close game.
Yeah,
I agree. Go ahead, Jay.
Yeah, I mean, I was just going to say I agree as well. I don't think this is going to be a close game at all. I mean, I think as much as I would love to see the Giants just rip apart the Cowboys, because you know what? I honestly think that Cowboys fans are worse than Patriots fans, and they haven't done shit in 20 years, but they still think that they're so great, and they, every year they're going to the freaking Super Bowl, and they're doing this and they're doing that, and then what happens every single year? They're 1-3. They're freaking whatever. But I think the Cowboys do have this game. I think they're going to, I think Dak's just going to throw all over the place, just feed old Zeke. And then it's certified. It's a win for the Cowboys.
Absolutely.
I agree.
All right. So
I think
then
it's going to be a big win, and Cowboys Nation tooting their horns we're back.
Oh, yeah.
We're back now. So, yeah, for sure. I think this is going to be a big W, and they're going to think, here we come.
Yeah. All right, so then we get to the Sunday night game. It's actually going to be a pretty good game, I think. We have the Vikings versus the Seahawks. And look, I think that this is going to be a close game because the Vikings can score, and the Seattle defense is not very good. But the Minnesota secondary is not very good, and Russell Wilson is going to eat them alive. So I'm going to take the Seahawks here, but this is going to be a very high-scoring game and probably going to be 47 to 46 type game. Jay?
Yeah, I can agree with that. I mean, I think this is going to be a high-scoring game. The Vikings defense, I mean, their secondary isn't all it's cracked up to be. I think that, Russell Wilson's going to just throw all over him. Like I was saying before, DK Metcalf, I think he's going to have a huge game against that secondary. Probably a couple touchdowns, well over 100 yards, maybe, 8 to 10 catches, something like that. And I like Seattle. I like Seattle a lot. I mean, if I was going to do my own power rankings per se, I would probably have them at 2, maybe 3. I do like them, but they really need to shore up that defense somehow, some way, because that's really where they're lacking right now. But overall, I'm going to have to go with Seattle to win this one in a shootout type fashion.
Okay. Javi?
Yeah, I agree. I think Seattle's going to get it done. Everyone's, I think what we're missing, like Jay said, is DK Metcalf. We're talking about Wilson and MVP and, game straight. But DK is a big boy, and he is, we got to talk about him, I think, for wide receiver of the year at this point. I mean, he's putting up some big boy numbers, and, against our Patriots, he put, Stephon Gilmore just to absolute shame. I mean,
right.
I'd have been embarrassed to walk back in that locker room after that game.
Stephon Gilmore looked like a dog that game, He
was playing with COVID.
His Madden 99 rating needed to go away.
Right.
I think unless Cousins had, he can show up in big time games, but unless him and the running game are just, unless the running game controls the game and controls the clock, which I don't see that. It's still going to be a shootout, but if they can somehow have the ball towards the end of the game and down by less than a touchdown, with like 5 or so left, I think maybe they can, run the ball for that 5 minutes, try and kill the clock. But I think the Seahawks find a way to get it done.
All right, and then now we've got another Monday. We've got another Monday night doubleheader, and they moved the New England Patriots game to Monday again. And we have the Patriots and the Broncos on Monday. It's a 5 p.m. Eastern start, 4 p.m. Central. That's 2 p.m. out there by you, Hoffy.
Wow.
I'll be calling out of work that day.
It's an odd time to start.
Seriously.
For one. And I just don't understand why they're moving the game again. Is it to get Cam into the game? Like, I don't understand. But at any rate, they moved it to Monday. And this one, I mean, the Patriots don't need Cam Newton to beat the Broncos. The Patriots don't need much to beat the Broncos. I'm taking the Patriots in this one, and I think that defense probably shuts out the Broncos. Jay?
So last week I took the Chiefs over my Patriots, and it killed me, But this week I'm definitely taking the Patriots to beat the Broncos. The Broncos don't have anything at all. I mean, I think Hoffy could walk off the street and possibly toss around the rock better than, some of the Broncos quarterbacks are doing down over there. I thought Rippon actually looked kind of good when he came in, but then the next week didn't look so hot. Definitely looked like a rookie. The Broncos just really don't have much going for them, and I can't think in any way that the Broncos are going to, take the Patriots, even if Cam doesn't play. I think Stidham or Hoyer is going to be able to, put this game on his back and beat the Broncos. So I'm definitely going to have to go with the Patriots on this one.
Coffee?
Yeah, I agree. I'm hoping Hoyer was left in Kansas City, and
Me too.
Stidham will be the backup this week, and Julian Edelman will go under center, and we'll get the W with Julian Edelman. I'll take Newton if he comes, but I've been crying about my defense all year, and they finally showed up last week, and against the Chiefs. So I think we start to put some wins together, put some solid games together, and hopefully Cam Newton can stay healthy.
If that happens, if Julian Edelman is the starting quarterback for that game, I will definitely watch that over the ALCS and NLCS that day.
Oh yeah.
That would be the story, right? That's the story of the week if that happens.
Wildcat all game.
You just have what you need to do is you just need to get Stephon Gilmore to go, cough on Hoyer, give him some COVID, and then we can get Edelman in there. It's a brilliant plan.
Just Wildcat and RPOs all game long.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so then the final game of the week, we have the Chargers and the Saints, regular Monday Night Football on ESPN. Man, this is an interesting one for me. The Saints have not been very good this year. And the Chargers are impressing me. I'm very impressed with the Chargers, with their quarterback situation. I'm very impressed with the rookie. But I look, the Saints are in New Orleans. I can't take the Chargers here. I have to take the Saints. The Saints are going to win this one. I think the Chargers do make it interesting, but the Saints are going to win this one and probably win this one by at least 10. Hoff?
I agree. I love the QB on the I don't want to butcher his name.
Herbert. Justin Herbert.
I love it. The Saints defense, which has kind of, been touchy this year, and they got, some solid cornerbacks. I think they show up. I got the Chargers, and I have the Saints by about 10. But I do really like the future of the Chargers.
Yeah, absolutely. Jay?
Especially after last week.
Diddy. So, Diddy, this is going to have to be Jay's crazy pick of the week. No, I think I'm going to take the Chargers here, though. I understand that, they're going to New Orleans to play. I like the direction that the Chargers are going in. Somehow the Saints always end up throwing at least one egg at home throughout the year. And you look back at that game and you're like, how the hell did they lose that one? But I think this is one that the Chargers can sneak and just snake away from the Saints. So I'm gonna take the Chargers.
That's a ballsy pick.
In a close one though.
If it wasn't a primetime game, I could see the Chargers pulling this one off.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see. Those are our picks, guys. Before we get to a break here, I want to leave you guys with something. Now, Hoffy and Jay, I don't know if you guys know this, but back in 1916, on October 7th, the Georgia Tech football team beat the College of Cumberland 222-0.
Wow.
Cumberland had negative 42 rushing yards. They were 2 for 18 passing with 14 yards and 6 interceptions. They had 9 fumbles. Listen to this, though. Georgia Tech did not even attempt a pass in the game. They had 978 rushing yards and 32 rushing touchdowns.
What the?
That is, to me, like, I don't know. Like, I was on the Mike and Mike Man Hour earlier, and actually yesterday, and this was my what the of the week. Like, I don't know what to say about. Like, did only one player from Cumberland show up? Were they playing 11-on-1 on each side of the ball? Like, how the hell do you get to a point where, seriously, 32 rushing touchdowns. That means you had 32 possessions in a game.
I'll take those running backs on my fantasy team, though.
Yeah, no kidding.
How many plus 20-yard runs do they have?
Exactly, like
all of them.
Wow, right, every single one of them.
I mean, 978 yards.
That definitely has to be a record for just rushing in a game.
Yeah, yeah.
What's the average on that? 32, 100?
Like 45 yards a carry.
That's 30 yards a carry. Yeah, that's absolutely insane. That's absolutely insane. But all right, so we are going to take a quick timeout, and then we will be back, and we will get to some more sports talk with you guys. Hang in there. We will be back shortly.
Oh.
Bet your ass won't push me. All your ass do is push keys. You exciting my demons. Even demons scared of me. Holy fight when I'm sleeping. God, why am I breathing? Got no rhyme and no reason. That's the reason I rhyme. Niggas finding my season. I'm tired of y'all eating. I'm just tired of me starving. Actually, I'm being honest. I'm just tired of being complex. I'm over ripping the whole of your whole operation. I run out of patience and run out of pages. To write that I run out of pages. I jump on the mic and go nuts on the stage. It's so fucking amazing that nothing amazes you motherfuckers anymore. Cause my game is never stay the same. Don't ever say my name. The hell out my way. Got the devils in my head. The devils in my brain. Like whoa, 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 whoa. No. Not gonna slow the flow down so you supposed to know what I'm saying until you replay this shit over and over. I'm only admitted and already said more than you say in one of your albums. Wow, standing in the ring and ready to get it in. Let me know who want a problem. Holla, I ain't never ran about what you thought. One more battles than you ever fought. Nowadays, 2, 6, 9, and then tell when they get caught. I'm sticking to the code. Jump before the sun, signal with the flow. Only getting higher. They hit the road. Trying to make these dollars. Even book more. Fuck everybody. It's my gun. Oh my gosh. To see me with the lights off. It's a motherfucking star. I said that on the first call. My first step on. I bet you getting no heat. But now you fucking do. Cause you're all up for no I gotta do another verse. Lucky for me, you'll never see me run out of words. Fucking with me, should let it be. Now everybody's under the curse, like everybody's all of my business. But I don't think that ain't none of yours. Word for them commies, internet full of zombies. But all I see is that birds lit and tweeting, thinking they got me. All I need is one time, yeah. Who I know it's not gonna change, whether we at the gram, yeah. Who I got pockets of change. I'm changed, but I'm timeless. Swiped out like Thomas. Don't follow that trip, what? I'm just following you guys, right? Why you think when they make why you think it's so blessed? Hip-hop don't lost the soul. Why you think I'm up next? Cause I've been on the ground and I don't have no time for games. We are in 11th hour, y'all been getting late. You can catch me in the kitchen cooking up a plate. Jesus on the way, I can't delay, too much to say. Dominoes knocking out, so you knocking out dominoes. Wanna know how I know that I'm about to.
All right, so we are back, and look, we talked a lot of football, and I know football's on right now. Buccaneers up 10-0 on the Bears, so about 14 minutes to go in the second quarter. Buccaneers have the ball on their own 10-yard line. So let's talk some baseball, guys. Look, we got a lot of stuff going on in the baseball playoffs. Two teams are already into the championship series. You have the Atlanta Braves. They went out and they swept the Miami Marlins, which to me was a surprise. I thought the Marlins would put up a better fight. Marlins were my pick, my upset pick of the series. And they went out there. The Braves went out there and did their thing, man. They haven't lost a game yet in the playoffs. They look really good. Their pitching looks really good. Their offense looks really good. They're hitting home runs like crazy. And so the Braves are in the NLCS. They will take on the winner of LA and San Diego. LA is closing in on a sweep of the Padres. They got game 3 later on tonight. I think the Padres are good enough to extend that series. The They're really good enough to come back and win this series, but I don't know. Los Angeles looks like a different LA team to me. They look really good. They're always that team that seems to go out there and find a way to lose in the playoffs. But this year seems different for Los Angeles. Have you watched any of that series, Jay?
Yeah, I have, and like you said, I mean, they always find a way to lose, but they always get to the dance. You know, they're like the dude who, constantly gets the girl, but he never gets the kiss at night. He never gets the anything to that effect. So I mean,
right.
I mean, the Dodgers still look good though. And did you see Bellinger actually rob Tatis the other night there?
He had a game.
Yeah.
I did not.
Yeah, he climbed right up on the wall, Spidey style, and just robbed Tatis of a home run.
Coombs. I had it, Coombs.
Look, the Bellinger's rob last night of Tatis, I think, sealed the fate for the Padres. And I think that is what pushes the Dodgers over the edge, because that normally in years past would have gone over the wall. It would have found its way over the wall. San Diego would have taken the lead there and ultimately would have won that game. But, man, it is really hard. It is really hard to say that the Dodgers. I still can't pick them to go out and just do it. I just can't, because year after year they find a way to disappoint, and the Padres are good enough to come back in this series. Bellinger, a lot of people keep talking. I think that catch was overhyped. I think it was he got back on the ball and he made a jumping grab. And he didn't climb the wall. He didn't do anything. He jumped. And the ball would have been out, and his glove was over the wall. But, I mean, it's not exactly a tall wall there in Los Angeles. So
he had to run a long way.
Outside of Texas, but yeah.
Oh, yeah. He ran a long way.
Yeah, he ran 97
You're a professional baseball player. That's a routine play, though, as far as I'm concerned. That's a great play in beer league softball, but that's about it. I mean, that really wasn't.
That's nothing. That's nothing for hockey, though. He makes those daily.
Yeah,
for sure.
That's Hoffman's routine catch.
Mm-hmm.
Hoffy does that with a blindfold
on one knee.
with two beers in his hand.
And two in my pocket.
Jesus.
Right.
Oh man. All right. So the Houston Astros.
It's my team.
They go to the ALCS. They beat the Oakland A's. Look, that was a home run derby. That series was a home run derby. What's that?
We're going to get bean tossed. You didn't get your wish, though, and didn't start drilling them.
No. And they probably should have. Because
they should have still threw at him,
Yeah, the way that they were hitting home runs was absolutely crazy. I felt like I should have been listening for the banging of trash cans.
For sure.
But yeah, I don't know. Whatever. The Astros are in the ALCS. They're going to take on the winner of Tampa and New York. Last I checked, that game was still scoreless, and I'm actually turning it on right now to see what the score of that game is. But Tampa and New York, the winner of that will get the Houston Astros. New York is up right now in the 6th inning. New York is up 2-1 in the 6th inning. So, I don't think that it mattered who won that series between Oakland and Houston. I didn't think either one of them is going to beat Tampa or New York. I don't think they're good enough to play with either one of those teams. They're certainly not good enough to pitch with Tampa, and New York's going to outslug them. So I think whoever wins Tampa and New York is going to end up in the World Series, like I had said before. And whether Oakland had won that series like I wanted them to or not, I just didn't think that either one of those teams was good enough to compete with the other two teams.
I think you're right there. I think that Houston would have probably had a better chance against Tampa Bay. I like Tampa's pitching as well, but I just think, they are swinging the bats right now. And, I mean, you just saw it the other night, proof positive,
Yeah.
But the Yankees can swing the bats with them, and the Yankees pitching staff isn't all that bad either, So, I mean, I think, obviously at this point it's probably going to be the Yankees and the Astros, and I do think that the Yankees come out of it. Even though I would just love to see the Astros just to piss everybody else off, else off. Including you, Diddy, including Hoffy down there. I see him shaking his head. But, yeah, just to piss everybody else off. I mean, I just don't think Houston is bad as everybody thinks that they are. Yes, they cheated. Don't get me wrong. They cheated. But I just still think that team has a lot of talent. I just think that team still has a lot of talent that people aren't seeing because of the fact that they did cheat.
Yeah, I don't know.
Diddy's not upset about it.
I just hate the Astros, man. I can't do it.
We love it, but they are a hell of a fucking team. And I think that, if they go against the Yankees, I think it's going to be another home run derby, but I think the Yankees pull it out. If they go against the Rays, I think the Rays, I don't think they take care of the Rays pitching. Therefore, I think they're in trouble there. But I think the Yankees still find a way to win tonight and pull off the next game, and I think they win this series. I think Stanton's got six home runs, 13 RBIs. Judge has only got like 3 hits. 2 of them are home runs though. I mean, if he turns it on and he joins his buddy Stanton, I mean, that lineup is pretty solid.
Yeah.
So, the Yankees just actually went up 4-1.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, what about the NLCS? Braves versus either the Dodgers or the Padres, probably the Dodgers. Do you see any way that the Braves are going to continue this run and beat either? I think the Padres would be a much more fun matchup.
I agree. I see the Astros winning 2 games, and I see them being, just being slugfest where they might win big. It might be a close game, but I think they put up big numbers. But other than that, I think the LA pitching staff takes care of them and in at least 6.
Right.
Pretty easily.
I mean, as much as I would like to see the Braves win it, I just don't see it happening. I think LA has too much, from bats to pitching to, their bullpen. I just think they just have way too much. But I would love to see the Braves win it though. They're kind of like the darling team right now. They got, momentum. They got that all on their side. And I mean, the Braves haven't been to the dance and, as far as the World Series in a long time. And, I'd like to actually see them go. I mean, they were one of my favorite teams when I was a kid, but,
Chipper Jones, Andrew Jones.
Yeah, Chipper Jones, Andrew Jones, Dave Justice. They had Smoltz.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maddox, Glavine. Like, that pitching staff was crazy.
That's what I fell in love. That's how I fell in love with baseball.
Right, But the Braves were my team back in the day. Other than the Red Sox, they were my NL team. If you want to put it that way. And it was
always the Yankees in the World Series when we were younger, so it was against the Braves. So we had no choice but to root for the Braves. So
right, exactly. So yeah. But I would love to see the Braves, but I just don't think it's going to happen. But then when the Dodgers do finally make the World Series, that's when they're going to lose it. So I mean. They can always get to the dance, but once they get there, it's a no-go.
I think it's the Yankees' year this year, and that pains me to say.
Yeah, I hate to say it. I definitely hate to say it, but yeah, I do think it's the Yankees' year.
They got to come back, and they got to beat Tampa in 2. I mean, Tampa's not out of this game yet. They're up 4-1. The Yankees are up 4-1, but Tampa can come back. Tampa's a solid team, and they've
Oh,
won the Yankees all year long. So,
oh yeah, they're a very scrappy team. So I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if they came back. I mean, not at all. But I just think at the end of the day, the Yankees have too much firepower for them.
I agree.
On that note, game on, game on. You feel it, you feel it.
Everybody knows what that sound means. It is time to play our favorite game. Our favorite game here is called Way or No Way.
No way. Yes way.
No way.
All right, guys. So you guys know how this one works already. We come up with some statements, and we're gonna go here. As watching the Bears, it looks like Tampa Bay is about to put more points on the board. So
yes,
it's like it's either going to be a 13-0 or 17-0 lead for Tampa Bay. Oh, they're about to go field goal. It's going to be 13. So if the Bears lose big tonight and the offense remains stagnant, as so far they have, they should go back to Mitch Trubisky. Jay?
Yes, for the first play of the
game. Right. So like I've said in the past, whatever, if Foles is your savior, then you're good. Foles is going to come up. He's going to have a great game. He's going to throw 6 touchdowns. He's going to have another 4 rushing. He's going to have 450 yards. If he's your savior, that's the type of stats he's bringing you. But if he's your starter, then you have a problem because Foles is going to throw 4 picks. He's going to get sacked 4 times. He's going to fumble the ball. He's probably going to get hurt because that's what Foles does, So, like Hoffy said, they should put Trubisky in for, like the first series. And then after Trubisky messes up that first series, then they need to have Foles come in and take the reins from there because that's when he's going to start lighting it up and throwing dimes everywhere. So do I think that they should go back to Trubisky? No.
Hoffy?
I mean, I know I give you a lot of crap about Trubisky. I don't think he's, I don't think he's your franchise quarterback, but, he did, I do think that, you guys might have a better chance with him. And like Jay said, I do love Foles as a backup, but I think if he's the starter and he knows all week, and I don't know, it seems like he needs to just come in and not expect to be coming in. And that's when he just, doesn't think and just goes balls to the wall and, plays like Big Dick.
This pains me so much. Just because watching this team, I know that they're a quarterback away. That's all they need is a freaking quarterback. I don't subscribe to the notion. I don't subscribe to the notion that Foles has to be a savior and he can't be a starter because when he won those Super Bowl against the Patriots that year, that NFC Championship game and Super Bowl games were probably 2 of the best games I've seen a quarterback play in a very long time. And he knew he was the starter in those games. And he was starting for the last half of that season in Philadelphia. And the Bears run the same type of offense. I think that the problem is that last week they didn't play very well against Indianapolis. Indianapolis has a very good defense. They're not playing very well tonight. They're playing against Tampa Bay. It's got a very good defense. They're going to beat the teams in their division, except for the Green Bay Packers, because the teams in their division other than the Green Bay Packers don't have very good defenses. So they're going to have probably 4 wins there between the Lions and the Vikings. They have not such a tough schedule coming up here. And their defense is good enough. They don't need to go back to Foles. Going back to Trubisky. I mean, going back to Trubisky is a no way for me. You're at Carolina next week. Then you have the Rams. Both of those are winnable games. Should win both of those games. Then you got the Saints. You're probably going to lose to the Saints. You got the Titans. Who knows where they're at? If they're healthy, that's going to be a good game, but probably a loss there, I would assume.
They might be out of the league by that point.
Then you get the Vikings. Then you get the Vikings. Then you got the Packers, and then the Lions and the Texans and the Vikings again. Then you get the Jaguars, and you ultimately end the season against the Packers. So I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, possibly 7 more wins out of this team. I really do. And I know it makes me sound crazy when you look at the way that they are right now, and as inept as the offense has been, and as I say in that, they're driving the ball down the field again against Tampa Bay. I think they're going to figure this thing out. I really do. I think that, last week they were a couple of drop passes away from beating Indy. Indy only beat them by 8. It's not like Indy blew them out, and Indy couldn't move the ball on them. That defense is really, really good. It's going to keep them in a lot of games. And so, I don't know. I say you stick with Foles and see what you got, barring an injury.
How many drop passes you guys have last week?
A lot. And, I mean, they were drop passes that hit the guys that held the interception earlier by the interception earlier by Foles hit the guy right. He was trying to throw a back shoulder fade to Robinson, and Robinson went up to go get it. The ball bounced off Robinson's hands, bounced off his knee, and popped up right to the defender. So that's not even an interception on Foles, to be honest with you. I mean, it was a very well-placed pass that Robinson just didn't come down with. All right, so let's get over to baseball here. And we talked about this a little bit a few minutes ago with Cody Bellinger. But Bellinger robbing Tatis last night sealed the Dodgers' fate, and this is finally their year to go ahead and go get it all done again. Puffy?
I mean, like we kind of already talked about, I think they get it done to get into the big dance, but I think they run into a buzzsaw in Tampa Bay or New York, but I believe it's going to be New York that they run into at the end.
I think you're just trying to put a hex on New York by picking them. That's what I think. I think you're doing that old Boston voodoo magic. I'm going to pick the Yankees just because if I pick them, they're going to lose.
No. I do love the Dodgers lineup, but I don't know. The past couple of years, it seems like the Yankees it's been their year, and they don't get it done. Almost as if they're almost the Dodgers of the AL. Yeah. I think Stanton and Judge and the rest of the lineup get it. Gardner. I think they have too many utility guys. All around players. Same thing with the Rays. Both teams just have too much depth. The Dodgers do have a solid lineup, but not a lot of depth.
Let's be honest. You hate every team but the Cubs, and a bet is a bet. Next show, you have to wear White Sox since the Sox. Wait. That was not the bet. That was not the bet was if the Sox won more games than the Cubs, and they did one more game than the Cubs this year. The bet was I had to buy her a White Sox hoodie. Not that I had to wear one on the show. Nice try.
That's not what I heard.
Nice try.
Is she a White Sox fan?
She is.
That's not what I heard.
Although, admittedly, and she's admitted this, I'm turning her into a Cubs fan. She actually can name you more. She can name you more players in the Cubs lineup than she can in the Sox lineup right now. So I am not, and I will never, ever, ever, ever wear Sox gear. I don't hate the Sox, but I do not root for the Sox. Like I don't know. I can't do it, and I'm not going to wear their gear. I'm sorry. All right. So, hi, Brandon. It's Finn. I think the Chiefs are going to win the Super Bowl. Finney, my 9-year-old nephew here, says that the Chiefs are going to win the Super Bowl. Finney, I agree with you.
That is not a bad pick at all, Finn.
That is. Look, I don't think anybody can beat the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs might go undefeated.
Barring injuries or, some devastating type of thing happening to them.
Yeah. hopefully Stephon Gilmore did not, whisper in his ear and give him some COVID last week, so that way he can stay healthy.
Sweet nothings.
You saw at the end of the game, he was they were dapping each other up and doing the little in each other's ears.
So, all right. So
I love that they're giving Mahomes shit. He's got to come out and apologize and do the press conference and I lack of judgment. Come on.
Finney also says the Padres win the World Series. Finney, I love your pick, buddy. I really do hope that they come back and beat the Dodgers, and I really would love to see them in the World Series. They are a fun team. The Padres and Braves would be a much better watch in the NLCS than Dodgers and Braves.
I agree, but
hey, anything's possible.
If you want that flash or that shock value, the Padres are definitely the team to go with, but other than that, I definitely see, the Dodgers pulling that one off.
The Bears have just driven the ball down to the 3-yard line with a nice out route to Cordero Patterson. So they are about
to fumble the ball.
Hopefully, Nick Foles is about to throw an interception. I hope not, man. I really want to see an Allen Robinson touchdown here. So I put $100 on a two-way parlay in the same game here. I have Scotty Miller to score a touchdown and Allen Robinson. And if both of those score a touchdown, my $100 turns into $883.
Boom.
So give me a short, quick route here to Allen Robinson, and then let Scotty Miller go off for a 100-yard run or something and get one in. And then I don't even really care who wins the game at that point. I'm just going to drink and count my cash. All right. So moving on, way or no way. The next one here, sticking with baseball, and this is a team that Hoffy's been talking up and thinking that they're going to win the World Series. The New York Yankees need to do a better job building a pitching staff this offseason to go with that lineup in 2021. Hoff?
I mean, they got the ace in Cole, but I mean, they got Tanaka too. I don't know what happened to him. I think they need to kind of dump house and redo the whole pitching staff outside of Garrett Cole. Get Chapman. But other than that, I think you got to retool that whole entire rotation because we see it every single playoffs. Especially with the Cubs when they won the World Series. Every year that hitting gets it done, but in the end, the pitching staff is what gets you that World Series. You definitely need that pitching staff.
Yeah,
and the dance.
Yeah, and that's the one thing that's the big knock that I've had on the Yankees year after year. Since they started building this huge lineup with Stanton and Judge and all these guys, is that's great, but none of them can pitch. And then they go out and they went out and got.
You can't win every game 13-10.
Yeah,
no.
But they went out and got the big signing of the all season with Garrett Cole, and everybody was talking about they're there. They don't have any pitching beyond Garrett Cole. I mean, Tanaka doesn't put any fear into anybody. Tanaka's all right, but he's not that guy. You go into a game like, man, we're gonna have a tough day today. And the way Garrett Cole pitched in this shortened season, you're not even afraid of him anymore.
Right.
So they really need to go out there if they really want to return to form, and they really want to return to that Yankees dominance that they're known for. They need to go find some pitching, and they just do not have it right now.
Yeah, I agree. I'm gonna have to say Way as well. If they're gonna get back to dominance, it's great having a bunch of guys that can hit the ball 3 miles away. But I mean, if you have nobody that can pitch the ball, you're just in big trouble. And you see it every year in the postseason. Guys can hit, they can hit. But I mean, when you have no pitching at all, don't get me wrong, Cole's great, Tanaka, but then who do they have after that,
Yeah.
So it's just kind of a thing that they definitely need to retool that.
Settle down, Coombs.
Allen Robinson in the back of the end zone, but he was out of bounds.
So they definitely need
to have a pitching staff in quite some time.
They definitely need to retool that pitching staff. That's a fact.
Yeah.
They've not been Hernandez, Pettit, Clemens, Wells, Mariano Rivera.
Right.
And their relief pitching has been pretty damn good.
Mhm.
Their relief pitching's among the tops in baseball, but their starting staff is not very good.
Yeah.
As David
Yeah.
Montgomery runs it in for a touchdown, so it's about to be 13
Son of
to
a
7.
biscuit.
13 to 7 Tampa. Heading into, you got a minute 48 left on the clock for Tom Terrific to come out and try and do something, and hopefully he throws a pick.
That's
He's due.
that's a minute. That's a minute and 20 seconds more than he needs. So
That's true. It's true. I won't lie there. All right. Last one here, way or no way. This going back to the NFL.
No.
The Texans will make the playoffs after starting 0-4 under Bill O'Brien. Way or no way?
No way. And I'm going to say no effing way is this possible. There is no effing way at all this is possible. First and foremost, I don't even think they should have fired Bill O'Brien as the coach. They should have fired Bill O'Brien, the GM. He's not bad as a coach. He's a decent coach.
He's an awful coach.
No,
He's a coordinator.
No.
He's a decent
coordinator.
coach. He's a decent coach, but he's an awful GM. In which he was both for the Texans, you know?
My favorite part was we're gonna trade DeAndre Hopkins and we're going to rely on a run game.
And that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
That was a fireable offense right there. That was it.
We're going to trade DeAndre Hopkins and we're going to rest our laurels
injury-prone David Johnson.
Yeah. So that's what I'm getting at right there. Just point proven fact right there. He's a horrible GM, but he's a decent coach. I mean, regardless of the fact that you just think he's a coordinator or not, I mean, just look at his record for the past couple of years. They haven't been terribly bad. They've been in the playoffs.
Yeah, but they had Hopkins and Watson and Watt. I mean, they had a
right.
You know, and I was one of those guys before the season that I said Watson might actually thrive without Hopkins because when you take out a guy like Hopkins out of that lineup, now you don't have to force the ball towards him 17, 18 times a game, and you can open it up a little bit more. But the game planning has been awful. The play calling has been awful. Everything's been awful. And Watson's been doing his thing, and they've been scoring points even in their losses. But it's nearly impossible to start 0-4 and make the playoffs. Nearly impossible. So I'm going to say it's a no way as well, although I would love to see it. I love chaos. I love chaos in sports, and that would create chaos if the Texans find a way into the playoffs. All right, so here's where we go. We get into some more shop talk with you guys. All you guys are chiming in. Finney, if you're still out there, let us know what you want to talk about. Michelle, if you're still listening, if you're not, falling asleep or trying to find some Sox gear for me to not wear on Sunday. Let us know what you guys want to talk about. We'll talk about anything you guys want to talk about.
We missed that NBA talk, did he?
Yeah, we're gonna get there. We're gonna use that with the shop talk. We're gonna get into some NBA talk. We went a little long with the NFL talk, so I kind of skipped around there a little bit. But you got the NBA Finals. Look, I'm not an NBA guy. Are they playing tonight or are they playing tomorrow? They play tomorrow. Game 5 is tomorrow.
Friday night. Yeah, Friday night.
Is it over tomorrow?
It's over. It's over.
Yeah.
I thought, with the addition of Adebayo back into the game, I thought that, the Heat had a little bit more of a chance, but it turns out that all that happened is they put AD on Jimmy Butler and just absolutely shut him down. And then after that, they didn't have anywhere to go, nowhere to go at all.
His defense was amazing.
Oh yeah, his defense.
And they only lost by. It's not like they got blown out. I mean, they were in the game the entire time. You don't think they can build off that and sneak another game out of this?
Well, Game 5 is technically a home game for the Lakers. They're going to be wearing the Black Mamba jerseys. They've already came out. Yeah, they already came out and said that they switched their jerseys to the Mamba jerseys for that. They're, like Hoffy said, they're undefeated in the playoffs wearing those jerseys. I just think, with with the momentum that they just got from the last game.
So
they can
let me ask you this then. Let's flip it around. What do the Miami Heat need to do to force a Game 6 or even a Game 7?
They need to stop the LA Lakers from offensive rebounding.
Yeah, and I mean that's
27%
where
of their shots are, they're rebounding at like a 27% rate or something like that. So he needs to he needs to put his big boy shorts on.
Yeah, they
take care of Anthony Davis. Butler needs to get on James, but that's the only way. You need to shut one of them at least down. But I think both of them are they're on a mission right now. Like LeBron said, they're holding each other accountable to a standard that only they can hold each other accountable to. Did you just give birth?
You
No.
fat?
I don't know what receiver it was, but Tom Brady just completed a pass to a receiver, and that receiver got absolutely murdered in the middle of the field and fumbled the ball. He got
I think this
murdered.
Is the play coming up.
Like Kyle Fuller just absolutely murders this man. I think they're going to call it an incomplete pass instead of a fumble. Yeah, see?
Was it number 10, the Scotty Miller or something
number
like
30,
that?
Number 30. I think it's a running back.
Running back, okay.
But he got murdered.
To try.
Oh, my God.
I mean, I don't know how Edelman's not a vegetable right now because he used to do that shit to Edelman all the time, and I would cringe before Edelman would get hit because I'd be like, "Oh, this is the last one. That's got to
be a fumble, though. He turned upfield and took at least 4 steps.
That's a fumble.
Yeah, I would absolutely go ahead and challenge that. Oh, you can't challenge it. It's got to be booth review under 2 minutes in the first half. All right, sorry about that, guys. That was. I saw that play and I couldn't help myself. I love big hits like that, man. I'm a hockey guy. I love big hits. All right, so. We talked about the Heat. We talked about the finals. Let's talk about the offseason. Anthony Davis is going to be the big name. Where do you guys think Anthony Davis goes?
LA.
I think he stays. I think he stays right where he's at.
Even if he wins a ring?
Even if he wins a ring, because that's the type of environment that AD wants to be in. He wants to play those big games. He wants to take those big shots. And, I just think if he goes anywhere else, like per se Chicago or something like that, where he goes home, he's definitely not getting that opportunity for another 2 to 5 years because they're going to have to build that roster up. They're going to have to build that team up. And he was already sick of losing in New Orleans, so why go to LA for a year, get a title and turn around and go somewhere else and just lose,
I mean, he got his title, and now he's a free agent, and I think if he gets his title, I think he goes where the payday is. I don't know if that means, coming back home to Chicago, and joining and trying to make this, this organization relevant again. They did just go out and sign the new head coach. They're revamping the front office. So I don't know. I don't.
Space Jam 2, baby.
They reversed it. It's a fumble. Bears have a shot to even things up. All right. So I think that AD gets his title, but he goes somewhere else. I just think he does. I think he goes with the.
He's gonna get paid wherever he goes, and
the Lakers can't give him max dollars. The Lakers can't give him a max contract.
I understand that, but speaking of, Hollywood, LA's a hell of a market, so he doesn't need to make big dollars playing basketball. The weather, yeah.
Plus, you gotta think this guy right now. This guy's got so many endorsements. Like basically, he can just.
You have too many powerhouses going Nets. You got they're going to get healthy with Kyrie Irving, with Durant. You have Antetokounmpo. I mean, is he going to go to the Warriors like people are saying? You're going to have Curry, Thompson coming back.
Oh my God!
I mean, the Heat have shown they're legit. The Celtics, you got I know
It's
Doc
already
Rivers
bad
is really
enough that the Golden State Warriors have a top 3 pick in the NBA draft. It's
nuts,
already gross
man.
enough that that's
It's
happening.
nuts.
But can you imagine if they got a freaking like a guy like Antetokounmpo or freaking any of those guys?
It'd
Oh my
be
God.
it'd be bonkers, man. If they ended up getting Giannis, man,
They're gonna win
absolutely
5 straight,
bonkers. Oh yeah,
6 straight. Like they're
oh
gonna
yeah.
be
Even with
yeah.
even with the Lakers being over there, man, they're definitely gonna still win. You know, if they
I
have
think that's why they go
Curry, right? If they have Curry, Giannis, and Clay and Draymond,
they might even be able to trade,
Yeah.
Thompson, couple key bench players. There's a good amount of free agents coming up in this market this year. That you can
Mm-hmm.
I think the
So
76ers are going to add a couple key players, and there'll be several good teams.
So what team this offseason makes the biggest splash, do you think? Is it the Bulls? Is it do the Knicks finally go and do something? Do the Clippers go out and add? Who do you think makes the biggest splash, and who do they land?
Oh, it's such a rough one to even think about right now.
I'll start.
Honestly,
I'll
go ahead.
say it's the Bulls, and I think they go and get AD. I think they find a way to get it done. I think they entice him. I think they bring him over. I think that they talk him into coming and help him build around Levine.
Diddy, it's not happening, brother. As much as you would like to see AD come home.
At least I gave an answer.
As much as you like to see AD come home, brother, it's not happening, man. He is not going to the Lonely Bulls. There's no shot in hell. No shot in hell at all.
Touchdown Bears, baby.
But
Jimmy Graham.
I think one of the teams that could possibly make a big splash is Miami. They got a great team right now, and obviously you see where they're at right now. I mean, you go and add, I'm trying to think, who's available this year offhand.
I
wish I had a list, but
you got DeMar Rosen, Andre Drummond, Gordon Hayward, Gallinari, Montrezl Harrell, Jordan Clarkson, Carmelo Anthony.
Yeah,
there's some established stars. There's some solid bench
about
players. There's Rajon Rondo. I love Rondo. I think he's he's especially
I think he re-signs with the Lakers though as well.
I agree. 100%.
Yeah,
I think
that's LeBron's little brother.
Yeah,
even think about it. You give Miami another rim protector besides Adebayo, or even if you give Miami Carmelo Anthony, just another guy who who's been in the league for a while, a guy who can actually score, put up some points, something like that. You put Carmelo on Miami, and I think they have a better shot right now against the Lakers.
Yeah, Jimmy Butler needs a solid star to help, or at least a solid, bench player, like Carmelo that can say, hey, hold my beer for me. I'll help you out.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Oh, I guess we'll see. Will this Lakers team continue to dominate for the next 2 to 3 years?
Are we not going with me?
Oh. Hey, you talk so much, I figured you went. No, go ahead. Go ahead, Offie.
My surprise pick, the Pelicans. I think Lonzo Ball, and I think their rookie. God, I'm drawing a blank right now, but everyone knows who we're talking about here.
Zion Williamson.
Zion Williams. Thank you. I think they get Williamson and Ball a couple key pieces. I mean, like we just talked about, the free agent pool is pretty deep, so I think you can get them some Marquise Morris players, some veterans that can, be role players and lead the way and have that tough guy mentality, and then let Williamson and Ball and maybe one other player. If you can get George or somebody like that from the Clippers potentially,
Don't forget
after
too.
that.
Don't forget too that the Pelicans have this year's most improved player as well, in
solid bench.
Brandon Ingram.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Brandon Ingram too. Yeah, and I think he's a restricted free agent, but I'm sure they'll bring him back. But
is Paul George the type that you really want to go out and try to get though? I mean, the way
but I mean, just somebody like somebody that can get Carmelo Anthony, someone that can get you 15 a game if you need on a regular basis.
Gordon Hayward stay in Boston? Gordon Hayward?
I don't really care.
He has a team option this year, so he's for 30-something million, so he's opting into that.
I'd like
I'm sorry, not a team option. He has a player option, so he's opted into that. But it'd be crazy if the Pelicans went out and got like a Oladipo or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Something like that. Yep,
that would be crazy. So, does this Lakers team continue to dominate for the next 2 to 3 years in the Western Conference?
No. They'll be up there. They'll be up there, but
if they keep AD.
I think with AD, they'll be up there. They'll be up there, but I think Golden State comes back and takes their reign.
Absolutely, yeah. The Warriors are going to be tough. I think the Clippers are going to be. I think they'll figure it out.
You got the Blazers. You got the Lakers. You got the Jazz.
The Nuggets.
Who's defending LeBron? Who's defending LeBron from Golden State? Who's defending LeBron and AD from Golden State?
Green. Or Antetokounmpo if they get him. I mean, but and
they
got the third pick.
Antetokounmpo.
I mean, are they going to go get the Lonzo Ball's brother? I mean,
LaMelo.
Dude, if they get if the Golden State Warriors get Giannis, you might as well
wrap it. You might as well wrap it up.
That's the same as the KD thing.
Yeah, I don't.
You might as well wrap it up. You might as well wrap it up at that point, man.
All right, so let's go here. Let's see what we got here on the chat. Michelle says, lies, ask your kids. Look, I'll ask my kids all you want. I never, ever said that I would wear White Sox gear on my show. I never said I would wear White Sox gear, period. Not lies.
I believe the old lady.
You guys are wrong. Alan says, go Cardinals. Fuck the Cardinals.
That's how you really feel, did he?
All the time. Fuck the Cardinals. He knows that. All right. So we got about 7 minutes left here. Any of you guys got anything interesting that you want to talk about? Anything going on? Let's see here. I know we could throw up some stories here. Hoffy, let's think of some stories. We got some softball stories we can share.
Oh boy.
I mean, we spent some weekends in Keene.
Yeah. Who's
good old Keene, New Hampshire.
Yeah, whose wife are we throwing under the bus tonight?
Yours?
No.
Look, we had a lot of fun down there in Keene. Keene was for those of you that don't know. What?
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
All right. So for those of you that don't know, Keene, New Hampshire has a very good base for softball, modified softball, slow pitch softball. There's a lot of very good players in New Hampshire. Some of the best players I've ever seen play are from New Hampshire, and I've played in a lot of different places. I've gone to a lot of different tournaments, state tournaments, world tournaments. So I've seen a lot of softball, and New Hampshire has some very, very good softball players. And Keene, New Hampshire holds the New Hampshire State Tournament every year, but they don't like teams that aren't from Keene to win in that tournament. Mm-hmm. So Hoffy was not a part of this team, but we built a team where we were finally trying to get our buddy Joe McDonald a trophy in states, and we were really good. We were really good that year. Yeah, you weren't allowed to play, so because we were in too low of a division for Hoffy to be on our team. Apparently,
14-13 Bears right now.
Yeah, at halftime.
I got in trouble with that tournament for singing.
So then we have this kid. We have this kid Bjorn, who we're in. We're in the winner bracket finals, and we have a play where he tags up, and like he could have tagged up twice. The guy caught the ball on the fence, center field fence. He tags up and he goes home. Well, Hoffy goes in and Kyle Clay chimes in, won championships with both of you, Hoffy and Keene and Combs, the all-day Woodbat Claremont. What's going on, Clay? How we doing, buddy?
Lefty swagger.
So Bjorn tags up, and then they appeal, and the umpire, who I guess had a tiff with Bjorn in another tournament where Bjorn called this guy out for cheating, he calls Bjorn out, and so Bjorn just goes off. Like goes absolutely bananas on this umpire. Now, as the guy's walking away, and I don't know who the hell says this, but only a guy like Bjorn, who we call Skittles because he wears Skittles shorts all the time. In fact, I've got photos of him shooting at ISIS in those Skittles shorts. But
there we go.
This guy goes off and he tells this guy, I hope you get bit by a tick and die from Lyme disease.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
What kind of sick son of a bitch do you have to be to wish a slow, painful death on somebody by saying, right, I hope you get bit by a tick and die of Lyme disease?
That's sadistic.
The guy had Lyme disease.
And the guy had Lyme disease.
Oh,
yeah.
my God.
I didn't know that until after, but that
my God.
That made it even better. Like,
wow.
I mean, it was so bad. I mean, the way he called that game, he cost us the game. He cost us the entire freaking championship that year. I would have won a state champ. I never did get to win a state championship out. But yeah, Kyle Ryder. Yeah, that jag off.
I love you to death, Kyle Ryder, but stick to pitching, please no more umping. But he was a hell of a baseball player as a kid, and as like a teenager he had ended up getting Lyme disease, and but he was a hell of a baseball player, and was going places until the Lyme disease took effect of his life. So probably not the brightest move on Bjornson's part.
Love
you, Ryder.
Look, you've got to call the games down the middle, and those umps and Keene, man. When you get to that state tournament and you're playing against Keene teams, they do not like you to go in there and beat Keene teams. The calls will never go your way. I mean, we had about 4 calls that game that were just, I mean, atrocious. We had to play the same thing. Bjorn was in the hole at short, took the guy, freaking threw the guy out by about 4 feet, and before the ball even got to first base, Kyle was already calling the guy safe, and he was out by 4 feet. It wasn't even a close play. It was like that ump in Major League Baseball who cost the Detroit Tigers pitcher the perfect game.
Oh, that was brutal. Was that West?
Yeah,
wasn't it Joe West?
Yeah. No, it wasn't Joe West. It was another ump. The ump felt bad. I mean, he cried after the game and apologized and all that stuff. But no, those Keene teams, man,
I forget, but.
Ryan Lawless was notorious though for putting together good teams out there in Keene.
So,
I mean, he put together some solid teams. Good coach out there. What's that, Jay?
Tatis just struck out, but it was bases loaded with 2 outs, and the Padres are up 2-1 right now. But Tatis ended up striking out.
Well, I love that Tatis kid, man. That kid can play some ball.
Yeah, man. He's gonna be the next thing in Major League Baseball. That's for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
And like you said, man, they should start marketing around that kid because he's gonna be a good one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Acuna is gonna.
All
be
right,
good
guys.
too.
So that is all the time we have for now. As always, you guys can find, if you missed any part of the show, Kyle, I don't know if you were watching or if you were listening, missed any part of the show, you can find us on YouTube, the Triple Shot Sports podcast page on YouTube. You can catch it on there. You can catch us on afterwards. I always upload to Spotify and Apple Podcasts, or you can catch us on the allaccesssportsnetwork.com tomorrow, usually on your ride home from work, 4 p.m. Eastern to 6 p.m. Eastern on the allaccesssportsnetwork.com. Have a great night, guys. Enjoy.
Yeah.
Triple Shot.